Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so honored to be here, and I first off want to thank President Murray for asking me to give this commencement speech. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Bruce Woodruff for delivering the invitation. Bruce, I'm not sure exactly where you are, but you have impeccable timing. To be honest, after the shock wore off in hearing that I was invited to give this year's commencement speech, my next thought was probably something close to what you're thinking right now. Who on earth is this woman? And why is she giving a commencement speech? Guess what? I am nobody. And for that reason alone, I am probably one of the most qualified people to deliver a message about the message that I'm about to deliver to you today. I could throw out a bunch of names and spout a bunch of sales figures and act like I'm somebody, but I'm here, so let me just say, my gift to you today isn't about who other people think you are. It is about who you know you are, and about being so comfortable in that knowledge that you can do exactly what you were meant to do while you're on this earth. Remember this: when there is absolutely nothing to prove, a relative nobody can change the world. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying discount yourself or think less of yourself, but what I've found is that the more you try to prove to someone that you're somebody, the more off course you go. And really, everyone wants to take the most direct route to success, right? A few weeks ago, I met a young student at the UCLA Film School. He was in the midst of finals and multiple projects, and we chatted about writer's block and things like that until the conversation took a turn. What, he asked me, did you do when you felt desperate? I so appreciate these moments in life, as the question was as much for me as it was for him. So I said, desperation never goes away. You just get better over time at handling it. So what really happens when you're desperate is that you become overwhelmed by unknown and unseen forces. The pressure increases as a deadline looms, and the unknowns increase along with your anxiety. And that's about the time when most people begin to pray, as faith and trust play a big part in the intangible. Because really, what else is there to do? When all action fails, it's time to count on faith and intuition. So much of what you cannot see makes up the bulk of your progress and learning. And what you focus on, you get. In other words, if you have a recurring thought, it's going to come true. One story perfectly illustrates how powerful thoughts are in creating reality. I call it the cabbage story. A few years ago, I was having some health challenges and had tried traditional medicine, which didn't work, so I turned to alternative healing. After a thorough visit and examination, the woman gave me a protocol of herbs and homeopathic tinctures. And as an afterthought, she mentioned that for my particular issue, raw cabbage was a very powerful curative. Well, the first thing I did after that visit was to run to the supermarket and get a quarter cut of a huge head of cabbage. And then I went about my daily errands. Anxious to experience the effects of the powerful curative, I decided to break out the cabbage as I was driving. Now, this is the important part, because as I was pulling the cabbage out, this huge, enormous hunk of cabbage, I kept thinking to myself, please nobody see me. Please nobody see me eating cabbage in my car. I even imagined how embarrassing it would be if somebody actually looked over and saw me eating cabbage as I was driving my vehicle. But despite my concerns, I stopped at a stoplight, grabbed the cabbage, and took a huge bite and munched away. It actually didn't taste bad, so I took another bite and crunched happily, imagining all the health benefits that my fabulous curative was bestowing upon me at this red light. Suddenly, I sensed someone looking at me, and much to my horror, there, right next to me, was a man in a pickup truck looking me dead in the eyes. And he was incredulous. "Is that cabbage? Are you eating cabbage?" Okay. At this point, my mouth was full of raw goodness, and I was holding a quarter head of cabbage in my hand, so there really was no denying it. Remember my story the next time you have a recurring thought. That thought could easily become reality. Remember the cabbage. Here are a few more things to remember as you navigate your way towards success. Be proud of your mistakes. Own them in a way that gives you power, then move on. Don't judge people on salary or status. At the top of my game, I was making 6 figures and working for a global media influencer. There are also times when I counted pennies. Wherever you are, it will not last. Trust me. Enjoy every moment of your success and know that your failures are not permanent. Don't gossip. Whatever goes around comes around. Every day, do one thing that terrifies you. In the morning, ask yourself what you are most afraid of, and then set about doing something to overcome that fear. Resist the urge to move away from things that scare you. In fact, use your fear as a barometer for progress. If it doesn't scare you, question whether or not it's even worth your effort. Ask for help and trust your guidance. Every situation requires support, and it's up to you to figure out whether the support comes from outside yourself or from within. Do not ever let another person project their limitations onto you. We are all going through desperate times. Be compassionate in all circumstances. Vulnerability brings breakthroughs. So if you're struggling, go into vulnerability, and you will find your answer. Every once in a while, talk to someone who is completely different in some way from you. Maybe they're a different religion, a different race, or different sexual orientation, and have a conversation with them. And don't take anything personally, and listen. Listen carefully to what someone who is different from you says. Speak your truth and listen to theirs. Feel confident in your abilities and continually assess your current situation in life. Never let someone question your magic. Everyone has it. There's a special essence that each of us brings to our existence. And if someone ever questions your magic, consider it a reflection of their limitations, not yours. And lastly, think for yourself. No matter what your political, religious, cultural belief system, consider what is being presented to you and ask yourself, does this sound, feel, seem right to me? You don't have to sign on for an entire lifetime just to belong. Thank you so much, and congratulations.